Good morning. Today we're doing something slightly different. We are reviewing the Nike Zegama. Now, I am not a professional shoe reviewer. I don't really know about midsoles or heel hooks or lace downs or uppers or the different material that goes into a shoe. But what I do at the moment is run about 70 miles a week, which means I've gone through lots of shoes and I've gone through trying a bunch of different shoes as a beginner runner. I'm not a professional runner. In fact, I'm anything but a professional runner. I'm a 91 kilo, quite heavy runner looking for the perfect shoe. But today, I want to focus on why I think the Nike Zegama might just be my shoe for my first ever 100-mile ultra. Now, like anybody, when it comes to spending money on shoes, it makes me feel a bit sick. A Nike Zegama usually retails at £145. That's about $160 or some other amount of money depending on where you're from. I got it on a beautiful discount at £84. Out the box, do I think it's the most beautiful shoe I've ever seen? I think it's pretty nice. There's a lot of fun colorways, let's say. Nike is always good with their design. They're always bringing out stuff which looks good most of the time. Interesting colors. I don't know if you'll be able to see up close. I'm sorry I didn't clean them. I used them literally I checked my watch, don't have a watch on. I used these about half an hour ago, so I attempted to clean them, but they've been on all kinds of terrain, and even this morning we mixed it up. I was on pavement and rocks and mud, so they're still muddy. But hey, an authentic shoe review. It's not polished. It's actually had about 160 miles in them now. Honestly, I love this shoe. I love it. It is plush, or it feels really cushioned. It feels really nice. It's a heavier runner. Its upper and its toe box, see I'm using official terms here, really good for my foot shape. Now, I've tried different shoes. I've tried Hoka's, I've tried Asics, I've tried Innovate. I've tried a whole range of different shoes with some of the best models, some of the not so good models, and by far, Nike fit my foot the best. This nice bit of texture bit at the top here, you can probably see it there better, is really nice on the foot actually. I'm not used to wearing some sort of weird sock shoe, but actually it feels great. I'm gonna cut now to me going for a run just the other day. I think it was just a 10-mile run, and I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts of how I was feeling whilst I was on my run in this shoe. One massive thing that sticks out to me about the Nike Zegamas is how good they are on the road. Truly, I have to run about 3 miles to get to anything like this. But those 3 miles on the road in a trail shoe are so comfortable. I'd almost go as far to say as it's better on the road and gravel than it is off-road at all. Okay, we have 3 more miles left until 150 miles in the Nike Zegama. I have to say, in my opinion, these shoes have got much better over time. The first 40 miles-ish, they felt quite rigid, a little bit uncomfortable. Didn't feel like I was getting much return out of them. But since then, they felt great. I'm currently running on some harder ground, and I'm feeling like I'm being pushed forwards. They really do feel fantastic after those initial miles. So if you do go ahead and buy them, keep that in mind on your first couple of runs. I believe, at least it's how it's worked for me, that these shoes are really going to increase and improve over time. Also, I'd like to add that I've run in this shoe at a variety of paces. Right now I'm at about a 9-minute mile, just cruising along. I've used them all the way down to long distance efforts. I say that again, long distance efforts of about 7-minute miles for about 15 miles, and they felt good on that as well. So, like I said there, I think this might be the best commuter type shoe for you. If you're someone who has to go from roads to trails, back to roads, back to, grass, all in one run, like I do, because where I live, I usually have to run 2-3 miles to get out of the main town area to some greenery. This shoe is so good. It is so good on the pavement, and that's why I said trail lightly earlier, because this is a trail shoe, but I wouldn't mind running on the road in it. But I could happily bounce along the road all day in this shoe. And I mean that. I don't mean that as in just like it feels good enough. I mean, this feels just as good on the pavement as it does on the trails and the light rocks. I do think possibly in the winter, and if it's really slippy and really muddy, I just think the lugs in this are too small. I don't think they have that much grip in them. This for summer will be an awesome shoe. I think it'll eat up everything you need it to. I think in those drier months, it's very breathable, the upper's nice and airy. I think it's a nice, even though it's heavier than some of the other shoes, it feels nice and light on my feet. Overall, it just feels fantastic for that light, warm, dry terrain. I think you'll eat up the miles. It's funny, because I often Google when I'm looking for shoes, like, because I'm training for an ultra marathon shoes. And there are the very obvious ones, and there's videos put together where people have shared their breakdown of the best ultra type shoes. So you always have your Hokas in there, you always have your Salomon or Solomons in there. Your Nikes, you really don't see that much of in those lists. But I really do think that this shoe could be a contender for a shoe that I wear for my first 100-mile ultra. So quite possibly this will be in my rotation as one of the pairs I take to do my ultra. Maybe I'll switch it out depending on the terrain. But overall, this shoe is fantastic. So, from a completely amateur, not very good shoe reviewer who is training about 70 miles a week at the moment, this shoe is excellent. And if you are in the market to spend nearly £100 on a pair of running shoes, and you do a bit of trail, and you do a bit of road, and you do a bit of mud, the Nike Zegama for me might be the shoe for you in 2023. Thank you as ever for watching. I know this was a bit different, my first attempt at a shoe review. Hopefully I'll get much better at these if I do any more reviews. At the moment I'm just putting together all different types of videos to see what works and what people like. So if you did like the shoe review and you want to see more amateur shoe reviews, please let me know and I'll push more out when I can. Check out some of our other videos. We've done 3 or 4 really great videos recently that I think would provide some benefit. So check it out.